Welcome back again for our final video for the 9 critical tips for home buyers to secure your dream home. This is Alex Chua from Home of the Elites, and we'll be covering tip number 7 to number 9. But before that, please like our Facebook page and follow us on our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification and you'll be alerted whenever we upload new content. So if you are ready, let's get started with tip number 7. Negotiation. Negotiation is a tricky and psychological game because not all home sellers think alike. You have to remember your positive intention is to buy as low as you can, which is the opposite of theirs. Do you want to lowball the sellers? Are you able to justify your offer to purchase? You can talk about rising interest rates, recession ahead, or anything that you feel the prices will come down in the near future. But future pacing may not work for everyone. What are the consequences for lowballers? The buyer may upset the seller that he or she has no interest to sell the property to this buyer. Am I saying that you should start with a high offer? That does not seem too right either, because it is common that the first offer will always get rejected unless you give a realistic offer and you are dealing with a realistic seller. Or perhaps your offer is the one and only offer they have after being in the market for a long time. As a home buyer, you cannot be increasing your offer again and again and again without knowing what the seller has in mind. So having a walkaway price is important. So what about valuation? How does valuation help? Is this an indicative or paid valuation? In an upward trend, every seller wants to sell higher than the one before. And by the same token, every buyer wants to buy lower than the one before in the downward trend. Rarely the property market is stagnant. So in my opinion, valuation is just a guide. And how much to pay for a property really depends on how much is the market demand. Rare property is always an asset. And for the same reason, good class bungalows in places such as Nassim Road, Tanglin Park, Cluny, Dalvey, and several prime estates always command a premium, whereby valuation is not really relevant for both the sellers and buyers. I have also come across some home buyers who shared their personal reason to justify their offers. The truth is, home sellers will not sell to them at a cheaper price just because they do not have enough cash or cannot qualify for the housing loan, which, by the way, is not the seller's concern. So when do you issue a letter of offer to express your interest to the seller? Buyers are often concerned that sellers may flash their written offer to other buyers to solicit for a higher price. How can this be prevented? If you choose not to express your interest in writing with a consideration, sellers may not take the verbal offer seriously. They could have bad experiences with agents giving false offer to test out the bottom closing price. Every seller is different, and sometimes achieving a win-win situation for all parties could be a challenge. Thus, getting a good buyer's agent to represent you could be better than treading on thin ice alone. Now for tip number 8, we will talk about the sales process. Buying completed projects and those building under construction is different when it comes to payment or completion timeline. For the earlier, the real estate developer will call for progressive payment when it is due. For resale and completed units, it will be more straightforward, whereby you moved from the letter of offer and acceptance to the completion of sales within a few months. Make sure you have your loan approved and all your CPF money back into your account if you are doing a back-to-back sale. If you are buying a property with existing tenancy, make sure you get a copy of the tenancy agreement, and your lawyer will also need to offset the tenant's rental deposit from the purchase price, since the new owner will have to refund to the tenants when the lease expires. It is common for home buyers to request for pre-inspection before the completion of sale to ensure that there is no surprises when they take possession. This should be stated in the letter of offer, as sellers reserve the rights to decline if it is not agreed upon before the OTP stage. You'll be surprised by the things that sellers remove from my personal experience. It could be anything from expensive and branded faucets, aircon compressors and fan coils. And my most extreme case was the seller removing all the metal drain covers around the whole landed property. I guess he sold it for recycling, but I recall the buyer was really very upset. We are almost to our final tip number 9, and we are pretty sure that things are going to be okay, but you have heard Murphy's Law. Yes, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So the last tip is just as important as the 8 earlier ones. And this is the process after the sales is completed and you have taken over the property. If you are buying a property with tenancy, it will be polite to do an intro to your tenants, but exchange numbers at your own discretion. We have heard of demanding and unreasonable tenants, so at times it is better to get a middleman to communicate with them after the introduction. What about renovation permit? Do you need to apply one from the building's MCST? In most cases, you are required to do so, and your contractors and scope of works registered for the permit is to be placed outside your main door. It'll be nice to know your new neighbors as well and update them about your upcoming renovation. They can be your eyes and your ears when you're not around to supervise the renovation. And lastly, remember to apply for your moving-in permit required for most condominiums. Ensure your mover's truck or lorry is within the height limit if they need to enter the basement car park to unload. Once you have moved in, there's just this one last thing that you need to do. Get a bottle of wine or champagne and a nice dinner to celebrate your first night at your new home with your family. Take lots of photos. This will go a long way down memory lane, especially for family with young children or first-time home buyers. I have done this for my own house, and after all these years, my family can still remember the excitement on our first night whenever we look at our photos. Well, we have come to the end of this video, and as always, we encourage you to send us any questions that you would like to find out. Or if you reckon it's easier to call us, you can reach us at 9780-0000. This is Alex Chua from Home of the Elites, and till we meet again, you stay safe for now.